welcome back. This week I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the slice serve. The slice serve can be used either on a first or a second serve successfully. And the slice serve is definitely one that every club player, every good player should own. You should have it in your arsenal. When used correctly, it's a great way to mix up the serves. It's a great way to get the opponent off the court, and it's just a great way to try to give the opponent something different to look at. So how the heck do we hit that slice serve? Let's talk about it right now. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about technique, everybody. Number one, let's talk about the grip. That's probably the most important thing. We're not going to use a forehand grip or a frying pan grip. The serve is just not going to be effective that way with the slice. So it's real important to make sure that we have a continental grip on there. If you're not familiar with a continental grip, it's basically halfway between a forehand grip and a backhand grip. Another way to think about it is if we're going to hammer a nail with the edge of the racket, that's going to generally put us in that continental grip. Now, I personally like to go a little bit towards the eastern backhand, and some other players do obviously as well. That's going to give us just a little bit more slice on the ball. It's going to create a little bit more carve and curve, getting that player to move off to the side of the court. So continental grip at least. Secondly, you can even try going a little bit to the eastern backhand. Let's talk about the toss. This is very important as well. On the toss, if we have a clock right in front of us, generally speaking, our flat serve toss is going to be right to 1 o'clock. On the slice serve, we're going to go a little bit more to the right. We're going to go to 2 o'clock. And this is going to allow the racket head to hit a little bit on the outside of the ball, basically trying to create a situation where we're going to carve around the outside of the ball, creating that spin that's going to make the ball go off to the side of the court, okay? So number one, we have the continental grip or even an eastern backhand. Number two, we have the toss off to the side. I'll show you what the toss looks like for that slice. And you can see I went off to the side and the ball carved off to the outside of the court. You can also, by the way, use your slice serve to curve into the opponent's body, very effective as well. You can play around with that once you get the generalities of the technique down. Lastly, it's very important to make sure on the slice serve that we accelerate into and through the ball. Many times what I see in that slice serve, and it happens because we're not confident hitting the shot in the beginning, is the racket slows down and the racket face might even open up a little bit. We hit this little wounded butterfly that is an opportunity for the opponent to come in and rip. So very important to make sure that we buy fully into the slice serve, accelerate into the ball, hit the right side, and follow through all the way. So hopefully it looks something like this. That was worked out pretty well. So again, the checkpoints on that slice serve, we want to make sure continental grip, we want to get the toss off to the right, we want to make sure that we follow through all the way to the left side of the body if you're right-handed, and obviously flip that around if you're left-handed. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is get out there, give it a shot, let me know what you think. If you have any questions or comments, please inbox me, hit me up on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, and get out there and give that slice serve a try. Have a great time.